Okay, before this video starts, I just like to apologize for this video being out so late. I got caught up in E3. I had a writer's block for a bit, and I went on vacation for a week, so this is out like 2 weeks late. Also, this video is going to be different from the other one, as more than one conference happened on the day. So I'll just cover the press conferences that I saw. Okay, so Microsoft. That was a pretty crazy press conference. Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Lots of games are announced. Some of them were pretty good. Some of them were Captain Spirit. As there's 50 different games shown and some other stuff in between, covering them all in depth as I did the first time would make this video hours long. So I'm just gonna give 10 word or less or fewer grammar impressions on each game that was shown and list the top 10 at the end and give more details or context on those. I'll bring up other announcements in between, but still keep those pretty brief. Okay, so it started off Halo Infinite. Alright, Halo exists. Ori 2 seems good. I'm a fan of Metroidvanias. Shadows Die Twice. Souls-like Theory number 3, BB. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Howard showed up. He mentioned that Fallout 4 was on Xbox Game Pass. And then showed off Fallout 76, which why don't you wait to show this? And then Captain Spirit was up next, which this isn't a Square Enix game. I mean, it's not a JRPG. It's Crackdown 3. It's a fun game that has Terry Crews in it for some reason, like all the advertising. Metro Exodus, which from the trailer it had nothing to do with Metro, or at least Metro Last Light. Kingdom Hearts 3. After 30 years, this game will be out. Sea of Thieves DLC, like, who cares? This game died. Battlefield 5 showed off at the EA conference. And then Forza Horizon 4, they talked about it for like 20 minutes. Actually, it's more like 10. But still, they talked about Forza way too long. And the Split Sensor came out. It's like the third time, but in the way I recap this first. And he was like, hey, we acquired The Initiative, Undead Lab, Playground Games, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion Games. Along with Compulsion Games, they showed off We Happy Few, which I thought came out already. And they showed off that there's be new PUBG PUBG updates for Xbox, in which case it better work this time, or PUBG's not getting an audience. Showed some game called Tales of Vesperia, which EU anime. Then Division 2. Why didn't you show this? Why didn't you wait till your thing? It says in my script, see Bethesda. There's some words. Some random person came, talked about Xbox Game Pass for a bit, and they showed off Shadow the Tomb Raider, which generic new Tomb Raider game, 19 or whatever. And then Session, which isn't Skate 4, so like get it out of here. Then there's Black Desert, which actually secretly called Sky's Anime MMORPG. And then Devil May Cry 5, which I thought this game series died forever ago. And they showed off some Cuphead DLC. Hell yeah, dude. Cuphead DLC. Tunic, and they got Zelda. The main character is Fox, so they're just ripping off all of the Nintendo. And they showed off some game called Jump Force, which isn't there already. Crossover anime fighting game. And then there's Dying Light 2, which case they de-emphasize the zombies in this one. And there's Battletoads, which, why out of all of the Rare games do you bring back Battletoads? To give two far more notable examples. Just Cause 4, just even more explosions this time. Just have the whole map blow up at once. Be good test for the Xbox One X, One Box X, One Box X. Gears Pop. I don't know what it is. It's a mobile game. That's all we know. It's a mobile game. And then there's Gears Tactics. So hopefully every platform at this point can have their own version of XCOM. And then there's Gears 5, which don't care. And Cyberpunk 2077. That's gonna be that game's release date. Got him. Okay, so got through all the games. Here's my top 10 games of the presentation. Okay, so 10th is DMC5. I haven't played any Devil May Cry games, but I like hack and slash games. They're fun. Get to kill things. Number 9, Gears Tactics. XCOM is also pretty good. Division 2. Yeah, Division 1 was alright. Really beat the game, because then all that's left was Shadow Zone and the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone was the worst thing ever, what I've heard. I haven't actually played any of these games. Includes Kingdom Hearts, that includes Crackdown. I played a little bit of Bloodborne, but not much else from Software. Haven't played Ori 1. But they all sound like fun games. Those entries are pretty much fun. So Battletoads. And the first thing, really the only thing any Battletoads is known for is one thing: difficulty. Brutal, crushing, nightmarish difficulty. A lot like Dark Souls, but tough, fairly tough. Yeah, as I stated earlier, weird thing to reboot or make a new game for. Actually, while I was on vacation, I actually went to this really cool arcade place over in Madison, Wisconsin, and they had the Battletoads arcade game. That was actually pretty fun. I'd like it to be more like that than the NES/Genesis Battletoads, because it was fun. It was still hard as balls, but it was fun. And then Just Cause 4. Just Cause games are always fun. It's kind of hard for them to not be. And then this one's gonna be really fun. Just Cause, basically screw around with weaponry and wingsuits and explosions. It's hard to describe, but they're fun. That's what's important. And then Cuphead and Delicious Last Course. Yeah, Cuphead is in my top 10 games right now. It's gonna be my first Let's Play on the technical sense. It's not really, but some point during the summer, I'll start that. Maybe do the whole thing. My first hurdle is actually beating the game. I'm only up to King Dice. It's like Cuphead. It's just amazing, man. You get the art, you get the sick music, you get the good gameplay, you got all the charm characters, all the just super inviting world. It looks all pleasant, it seems all fun. You got the happy music, and then everything starts killing you 10 million times. There's gonna be a new character, new overworld. Finally add that unused airship level. So it sounds like a blast. Come on, just give me it. Give me it right now. Alright. Fucking Xbox, give me it now. Okay, so next press conference was Bethesda, and started off with some video hey everyone, every staff member of Bethesda helps make these games. Who cares? And then next, they brought in Andrew WK, the host of fucking See and Reel and Destroy Build Destroy, to play a song for Rage 2, which is the best and worst thing ever. Here's a clip.
Time to pay. This is your judgment day. We made a sacrifice, but now we've come to take your life. We should win out and gun. We'll take on anyone. It's really nothing new. It's just a thing we like to do. You better get ready to die. Get ready to die. Better get ready to kill. Get ready to kill. Get ready to kill. You better get ready to run. Here we go. Better get ready to die. Get ready to die. Oh yeah.
Okay, then they showed off Rage 2, which is what Andrew was there for, as I already said. Looks alright. Next up, There's Elder Scrolls Legend, which is just a ripoff of Hearthstone, so like who cares? And then next they showed off a new Elder Scrolls Online expansion, which I don't care for that game, but it has its audience. And then next up there was a teaser for Doom Eternal, which, Doom 4 was good. But they're like, no. We're just gonna tell you about the game at QuakeCon, which is counterintuitive because it's E3. I mean, apparently it's tradition, but fuck that. Speaking of Quake, next up they talked about Quake Champions, and they said if you downloaded it from that day to a week from that day, you could get it for free. You could keep it. And then next up, there was some Prey updates. There's 2 new modes. There was a roguelike mode on the moon, and there's pretty much just a prop hunt mode. I mean, mimics. It's just prop hunt. There's nothing else to say. Wolfenstein, Ayo editing me, and Wolfenstein, really? It's Wolfenstein. Honestly, I can't believe it. How dare I? Young Blood was announced, which is the dumbest title ever, because Wolfenstein 1 had the Old Blood DLC. It's terrible. I mean, it's the worst naming convention ever. And then, after 45 minutes, the legend arrived. Todd Howard. Out of the first thing they showed, they ruined the in-joke of them porting Skyrim to everything with a mock ad for Skyrim Skyrim Alexa Edition. Keith from Keen and Peele. I mean, at this point, fucking port Skyrim to the Amiga 1200. And right after that was more Fallout 76. They started with the same trailer for the Microsoft announcement, which was a waste for time for everyone who saw that. I mean, they did show more footage, but still, come on. And then they showed off The Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a new mobile game. It's a lot like the original Elder Scrolls, just with nicer graphics. And then it's also like a mix between that and Infinity Blade, if anyone remembers what Infinity Blade is. Mobile game number 3, keeping track. Also, at some point they talked about Fallout Shelter. I don't know when they did that. It seems to be just out of my notes. But they did. That's where the Switch port got mentioned. And then they teased a new series called Starfield, so it's probably just gonna be like a futuristic space RPG. But then finally, teased Elder Scrolls 6. So last thing. So we're gonna see how many platforms they can port that to. So that was it for Bethesda's conference. Okay, so last conference was Devolver Digital's. I mean, I only watched theirs because Bethesda's like 30 minutes late, and so it ended 5 minutes before Devolver's did. I mean, not that the show's bad, it's just like 20 minutes long, and, watching them live is not important. They're short, so you can watch them later without dedicating like an hour. I mean, it was good. It was a lot like last year's old big parody of E3, get the host. They're like, hey, here's stupid market practices, and here's things we want, haha, our game shit. Yeah, I mean, at the end, they kind of tease some overarching narrative between all of the shows. Like, it's like it ended with the dude from the last show showing up. And then, I mean, I guess spoilers for the fucking Devolver Digital E3 press conference arc. The dude who got part of his hand chopped up from last year shows up, kills the hell out of the host, and then they rebuild her at the end, and they're like, to be continued. So, they kind of have an arc thing going on. So if you like Devolver Digital games, the ones they showed off, like 3, should probably start watching those for, massive time dedication in order to understand each of them. Okay, so now that more than one press conference has happened, You can compare them. Like, if you're gonna compare anything on the internet, you have to rank them, especially E3 shows. So, out of the three, because I'm not counting Devolvers, because it's like it's an E3 parody. I can't rank it consistently. So first was Microsoft, obviously. Second was Bethesda, and then third was EA's. EA's was terrible. We've been over this. So, anyways, that's gonna be it for now. In like a week or so, or whenever I can be bothered, I'll have the Ubisoft Sony video out. So anyways, that's gonna be it for E3 recap day 2.